If you design, fund, or run educational systems, you know the numbers. Administrative metrics keep going up. Test scores rise. Graduation rates hit new highs. College attendance trends upward each year. Yet the students generating those numbers arrive in the world incredibly anxious, heavily credentialed, but completely unsure of how to navigate the complex realities they are inheriting. This chart exposes the paradox. Administrative metrics, standardized scores, and completion rates are climbing, but plotted on the same timeline, human flourishing destabilizes and drops. Divergence points to a structural design flaw. The metrics are bound inside a rigid container, isolated from the environment outside. The system currently succeeds brilliantly at its original, industrial purpose. The problem is that we are still using that outdated purpose to define our schools today. To understand that purpose, look at the architecture. The classroom we recognize today, students sorted by age, sitting in rows, moving to the sound of a bell, was engineered in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It provided a highly effective solution to a specific set of historical problems: mass literacy, the training of disciplined factory workers, and the creation of specialists for emerging bureaucracies. Notice the geometric alignment. The school environment mirrored the factory floor, prioritizing standardized output over individual agency and conditioning people to perform repetitive tasks on schedule. The educational historian John Taylor Gatto described compulsory schooling as an architecture of worker discipline. Subordinate compliance was an intended feature of the design. But the industrial era is ending. The economy those students are entering looks nothing like the predictable environment the system was engineered for. They face ecological feedback loops, exponential technologies, and highly interconnected global systems. We are running 19th century educational software on 21st century children. Standard policy reform, tweaking tests, or adding hours is mathematically inadequate. This requires a total architectural replacement. If the diagnosis is structural, the solution must be structural. We must design a regenerative architecture based on 6 aims. The first is sovereignty. Cultivating individual agency deliberately replaces compliance, giving students the capacity to discern what ought to be done. The second is preparing for complexity. Reality does not arrive neatly sorted into biology or economics. Education must teach systems thinking, the ability to see relationships and feedback loops, replacing siloed academic tracks. The third aim is the integration of truth, beauty, and goodness. When these are separated, education distorts. High-level intelligence without an ethical compass is exactly how brilliant financial models end up completely destroying global housing markets. The fourth is lifelong learning. The old model front-loaded education in childhood to prepare for a stable adult career. In an era where technological shifts render skill sets obsolete in a few years, curiosity and continuous learning are now essential survival traits. The fifth and sixth are stewardship and human flourishing. Children are more than units of economic production. A system must develop their whole capacity: body, heart, mind, and conscience, enabling them to care for their communities and ecosystems. These 6 aims, sovereignty, complexity, integration, lifelong learning, stewardship, and flourishing, are the strict design specifications for a functional modern policy framework. If you sit in policy meetings, the immediate objection is predictable. Does prioritizing wisdom and flourishing sacrifice academic rigor? Will our students lose ground in global rankings? That fear assumes an industrial, zero-sum logic, that time spent on moral development is time stolen from calculus. The data proves otherwise. Look at the international assessments used to measure comparative performance. Singapore consistently ranks at the absolute top of the world in advanced mathematics and science. They are heavily invested in quantitative outcomes, yet they built character and citizenship education into their core structure. When a student in Singapore learns the mechanics of CRISPR gene editing, they are required, in the exact same curriculum, to debate the ethics of altering the human genome. Technical mastery and moral formation reinforce each other, giving the data context and meaning. The actual choice is between an industrial design that has stopped working and a regenerative design that is already producing measurable results at the highest levels. You can see this architecture functioning right now. Finland restructured their time and trust parameters to optimize for biology. Adolescents need sleep for cognitive development, so the school day starts at 9 in the morning. Students take mandatory 15-minute outdoor breaks to regulate stress, even in sub-zero temperatures. In Oakland, California, Envision Academy proves how this works at the project level. Ninth graders audited the cafeteria's food waste using mathematics. They paired scientific research on composting with a civic presentation to administrators, turning their observation into a structural solution. A resulting 35% drop in food waste proved that students can alter their immediate environment through integrated learning. At the Mountain School in Vermont, students spend a semester living and working on a farm. They study soil biology by analyzing the compost they build and learn economics by selling their produce at a local market. These three examples share the same structural pattern. Education functions superiorly when designed to cultivate the whole human being rather than to process a measurable unit of production. This extends far beyond school reform. We are navigating ecological breakdown, political fragmentation, and technological acceleration without guardrails. These are failures of human perception and ethical responsibility rather than simple technical problems. These blind spots are the direct result of an industrial education system that deliberately trained intelligence without wisdom and technical skill without moral grounding. Schools function as the primary societal engine for cultural renewal. They represent the site where a civilization defines the character and capacities of its next generation. If you want to correct the course of a civilization, education is the deepest, most upstream systemic leverage point available. Policymakers, administrators, and funders face a binary choice. You can optimize the margins of an actively failing industrial design or commit to the difficult structural work of total architectural redesign. Maintaining the old parameters will continue to produce a generation incapable of rebuilding the systems collapsing around them. The future is built by the humans we cultivate. Regeneration begins at the foundation.